recording, and away we go. Time to check out what we got in store for us with Duskmourn.
Good to see you again.
There it is. Here's Duskmourn. 1, 2, the Razorkin are coming for you. 3, 4, don't open that door. 5, 6, beware the gremlin's tricks. 7, 8, your fears will dominate. 9, 10, looks like you're lost again. Don't get spooked. Take these 3-pack and basic lands to help you out. New thing and new classic land. Swamp. Ooh. Cool swamps. Cool mountains. Alright, so let's open up the new packs. Then I've got 20k gold. I think I be buying some delicious packs.
I've seen scarier things in a bowl of noodles.
Scary things in a bowl of noodles, huh? Let's see. So Planeswalker with ninjutsu, nice. During your turn, as long as Kaito has one or more counters, he's a 3/4 ninja creature and has hexproof. And why did the music just die? That's weird. Can the emblem with ninjas get +1/+1? Surveil 2, and draw a card for each opponent who lost life this turn. And tap target creature, put 2. Ooh, that's nice. Growing Dread. Manifest Dread. That's a new mechanic. To manifest Dread, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one face down as a 2/2 creature, and the other into your graveyard. Turn it face up any time for its mana cost if it's a creature. Interesting. Whenever you turn a permanent face up, put a 1/1 counter on it. Oh, okay. So it's all about face ups and face down creatures. A room. You may cast either half. That door unlocks on the battlefield as a sorcery. You may pay the mana cost of a locked door to unlock it. What? So you can pay to play the Meat Locker or the Drowned Diner, and then later on you can play the other one. When you unlock this door, tap up to one target creature and put 2 stun counters on it. Or, when you unlock this door, draw 3 cards and discard a card. Interesting. You know there's going to be all sorts of rooms now. It's going to be a room deck, I'm sure. Murky Sewer enters tapped unless you have 13 life or less. Huh. Beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Unless a permanent entered the battlefield face down under your control this turn, or you turned a permanent face up this turn. So that pairs great if you have some sort of auto face down or face up chain going. The Clammy Prowler. It's a horror. Whenever it attacks, another target attacking creature can't be blocked. So him attacking can protect an ally. When it dies, manifest dread. When the rat dies, manifest dread. The top 2 cards of your library, put one onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature, other in your graveyard. Oh, that would go great with a rat deck because that means you can pull out rats just by getting your rat killed. Which is great for my rat deck because I could summon one to the field face down, bring the other one back from the dead, and then flip over the face down one. Whenever it attacks, manifest dread. Reveal target face down permanent. If it's a creature, you may turn it face up. Huh. Which means you can, if you have a bunch of face down creatures, instead of having to pay mana cost to flip it over, you can just pay 2 mana to flip them over. Oh, and you pair that with the card I got from last pack. If you just every turn put cards face down, you could stack your deck full of high mana cost creatures and just whip them out for 2 mana instead. That's gonna get in so much trouble so quick, I have a feeling. Whenever Arabella, the Abandoned Doll, attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures with power 2 or less. That goes great with any fast burn decks. You pair that with a Goblin Horde, you could possibly one-shot them just by letting Arabella attack. But you have to pair it with white, which means you have to either have split mana lands, which I do, or you just build a red-white deck, which isn't a bad idea either. 5 mana, seized from slumber, costs 3 less. If it's a tapped creature, destroy target creature. Okay, good. Nice to have some more destroy creatures for white. Cracked skull, ears ringing and head throbbing. All Tarvin could do was wait and see what would finish the job. Enchantment aura, nice. Cracked skull enters. Look at target player's hand. Choose non-land card from it. Discard it, and when the enchanted creature is dealt damage, destroy it. Oh. So it gives them a cracked skull. So they take any sort of damage, they just die. Doesn't matter if they're a 10/10 creature, they take 1 damage, they're dead. That's wonderful. Malevolent Chandelier. Oh, that's terrifying. 6 mana, and for 2, you can put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its library. Nice. Acrobatic Cheerleader. At the beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, put a flying counter on it. This ability triggers only once and so you summon the creature, and as long as it's not dead and it's tapped, it gets flying. So if you have an ability that just lets you tap a creature, you can just tap your own creature. Now you got a flyer. And last one before I start buying decks, or not decks, packs. Rip Spawn Hunter. Beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, reveal the top X cards of your library where X is its power. Put any number of creature and or vehicles with different powers from among them into your hand. I'll pass. Live or die, I grant them the illusion of hope, so that their despair grows even sweeter. Valgavoth. Cool name. Choose one. Return creature card from graveyard to battlefield or destroy target creature. 5 mana to do that. That's... I don't think I will be using that one. The Glassworks or the Shattered Yard. You unlock this door, deals 4 damage to target creature. Beginning of your end step, this room deals 1 damage to each opponent. Both doors are equally amazing for a burn deck. So that will definitely be going into my burn decks. Anthropede has reach. Enters, you may discard a card or pay 2. And when you do, destroy target room. Oh, that's going to be useful when they start pulling out all these. Duskmourn's domination. Although enter the house, hear Valgavoth's whispers, warming their consciousness until they can no longer resist his influence. You control enchanted creature. It gets -3 and loses all abilities. Well, then what's the point of controlling it if it loses all abilities? The only reason I'd want to control an enemy's creature is for its abilities. Well, unless you're playing like a blue-black deck, and then you can sacrifice creatures to do things, and then you would want to take control of your creature, but still. For 6 mana? Whenever another creature you control enters with power 2 or less, Vicious Clown gets +2. Wow. And don't make a sound. Counterspell unless they pay 2. And if they do, surveil 2. Nice. Yeah, let's look at the daily deals. Altenac, the Thrice Called. These are just... Okay. Let's look at the packs. So, 10 packs for a gold pack, and I just so happen to have enough gold for 20 packs. Let's get the first 10 and the gold pack. Yep. And another 10. And another gold pack. Alright. The House of Horus. Lakeside Shack. 13 or less life. Fear of the Dark. A nightmare. Whenever it attacks, if defending player controls no glimmer creatures. What the heck is a glimmer creature? It gains menace and death touch until end of turn. Well, that's terrifying to think. When it dies, gain 2 life. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand. Rest in your graveyard. You gain 3 life. One in the hand. Rest the graveyard. It's a pretty steep price. But that's what black is. Lots of sacrifice. Listen to that tasty squelch. Good hit. Good hit. Come here now, little meat bag. Rip Chain Razorkin. A human berserker. Sacrifice a land, draw a card. Wow. Ragged Playmate. Try to throw me away, Henry. I don't like that at all. Target creature with power 2 or less cannot be blocked. Nice. Orphans of the Wheat. It's Children of the Corn, but copyright-friendly version. Their only family is each other, and their only toys are those who wander too far into the fields. Careful where you walk. Tap any number of untapped creatures. They get +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature tapped this way. That is wonderful for a token gen. You got about 20 tokens on the field. You tap it, that card becomes a monster. Leyline of the Void. Cracks in the facade of the house lead not to escape, but to oblivion. If Leyline of the Void is in your opening hand, you may begin it with it on the battlefield. If a card would be put in an opponent... Oh, okay. Whenever somebody goes into the graveyard for the opponent, instead they go into exile. So that means they can't resurrect. Which is really good. Razor Trap Gorge. Nice. A Dagger Maw Megalodon. Now that is terrifying shark. Another cracked skull. Nice. Lionheart Glimmer. Whenever you attack, creatures you control get +1 until end of turn. Oh, this is a Glimmer creature. Okay. Whenever you attack, creatures you control get +1/+1. Useful, but he doesn't have to attack, which means you can just protect him. Appendage Amalgam. Oh my gosh, that is terrifying. It moves with the speed of a spider, but none of its skittering grace, scuttling to the sound of mucus-covered fingers. Ugh. Whenever it attacks, surveil 1. Stalked Researcher, just a shadow. It's only a shadow. Please let it be a shadow. Has Defender. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully lock a room, Stalked Researcher can attack this turn as though it didn't have Defender. Cool. Not all that useful, actually. Whenever Attack in the Box attacks, you may have it get +4 until end of turn. If you do, sacrifice it into your next end step. That works great if you have a reliable resurrection deck running. You can just constantly sacrifice Attack in the Box and bring it right back. Pop goes the evil. Chainsaw. Who needs magic when you have a chainsaw? When Chainsaw enters, it deals 3 damage to up to 1 creature. Whenever 1 or more creatures die, put a rev counter on Chainsaw. A crit creature gets +1/+0, where X is the number of rev counters. So the more kills you get, the more powerful this artifact becomes. Nice. Most Valuable Slayer. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature. It's +1 and first strike. Nice. First strike is always lovely. Unfortunately, the keyhole turned out to be located in an even larger, scarier clown mouth. Grab the prize, grab the key out of the creepy clown's mouth. And then you gotta go shove your hand and the key into an even bigger mouth. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard. Draw 2 cards. If the discarded card was not a land, deal 2 damage to each opponent. So just discard something that's not land and you get to deal damage and draw 2 cards. That is not a bad deal for only 2 mana. Bedhead Beastie. It heard monsters were supposed to hide under beds, so it did its best. Oh, that's too funny. You can't see me. I'm invisible. I'm hiding. Stay hidden. Stay silent. For there are creatures in the dark. When Stay Hidden enters tap enchanted creature, it does not untap during its controller's untap session. Yay. Shuffle enchanted creature into its owner's library, then manifest dread. I think it would just be used as a ability, not so much for its activation cost. Leyline of Resonance. Whenever you cast an instant that targets only a single creature, copy it. You may choose new targets for the oh ho, ho, ho. Throw that to the burn pile. Enters Manifest Dread, then attached to the creature. Has flying. Ticket Booth and Tunnel of Hate. Manifest Dread, and whenever you attack, target attacking creature gains double strike. Another attack in the box. Let's get this moving along. Piranha Fly, a fish insect. Oh, that's lovely. Friendly Teddy. When it dies, each player draws a card. Ethereal Armor. Enchanted creature gets 1/1 for each enchantment you control and first strike. Cold Healer. Oh, we don't need to operate. I've just always wanted to try. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, he gains lifelink until end of turn. Piggy Bank. Remember when you smashed me for a little pocket money? When he dies, create a treasure token. Huh, makes sense. And the Flood Farm Verge. Tap it and you get white. Tap it and you can get blue, but only if you control plains or an island. Interesting. Victor Valgavas Seneschal. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, surveil 2. If this first time, it's resolved. If it's the second time, each opponent discards, and if it's the third time, put a creature card from graveyard onto battlefield under your control. You pair him with all of the Manifest Dreads. You are cooking. Patched Plaything. Oh my gosh, that is terrifying. Double strike. When it enters with 2 -1 counters on it if you cast it from your hand. Manifest Dread. It literally does exactly what it says. Manifest Dread. Huh. Go figure. Tunnel Surveyor. When he enters, though he needed to know what lay beyond the intersection, Harp couldn't suppress a shiver of just quiet as his glimmer disappeared into the darkness ahead. I feel like there's definitely a glimmer deck to be made. You just gotta get enough cards. Target non-land permanent's owner puts it on top or bottom of their library, and when it enters Manifest Dread and attaches to creature, equipped creature gets Menace. A living phone. When it dies, look at top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature with power 2 or less from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library. Field target. Return creature from graveyard to battlefield. Nice. Moldering Gym and Weight Room. When you unlock this door, put 3 counters on that When you manifest dread, then put 3 counters on that creature. Search for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Another Orphan of the Wild. And Enduring Courage. Whenever another creature enters, it gains 2 in haste. When this creature dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. Oh! So Enduring Courage is a twice time enchantment. So even when the dog dies, it still is your enchantment that lets creatures have haste. That is amazing. And definitely going into a deck for haste. Grievous Wound, enchant player, they cannot gain life. And whenever they're dealt damage, they lose half their life rounded up. You do a black and red deck, if you can enchant them with Grievous Wound, all you gotta do is pepper them with damage, and then you're just gone. Glimmer Seeker, second main phase. If he's tapped, draw a card. If you don't control a Glimmer, no, draw a card if you control a Glimmer. If you don't, create one. The beginning of your second main phase of Cautious Survivor's tapped, you gain 2 life. Creeping Peeper. Oh my gosh, that is terrifying. So 2 mana to cost, and then tap, but only to cast enchantment, unlock door, or turn permanent face up. A Scarecrow, the Osseous Stick Twister. Delirium. If there are 4 or more card types among your graveyard, each opponent may sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard. Then he deals damage equal to its power to each one who didn't. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so as long as you have Delirium in effect, every turn your opponent has to sacrifice something or take the damage equal to Scarecrow's power. And if you power up this Scarecrow, that means they're either going to be taking a lot of damage every turn, or they're going to have nothing in their field or their hand. Slavering Branch Snapper. Shepherding Spirits. Under the Skin. Manifest Dread. You return permanent from graveyard to your hand. And Fear of Missing Out. It's FOMO! When he enters, discard, then draw. If you have Delirium in effect, untap target creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Nice. So as long as it's in effect, I attack my first turn with FOMO, untap a creature, and there's an extra combat phase. Nice. There's some other cards that do that same type of a thing, which means you could quite possibly untap a good chunk of your army for a whole second attack. And now they're either dead or there's just nothing they can do to stop you. Tale of Tamayo. Mill 2 cards. If 2 cards that share a card type were milled this way, draw a card and repeat this process. And you have to do that 3 times. And then exile any number of instant sorcery and or Tamayo Planeswalker cards from your graveyard. Copy them. You may cast any number of the copies. Huh. Interesting. When you unlock this door, return creature mana value 3 or less from graveyard straight to battlefield. Whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. Nice. Target creature can't be blocked. Draw a card. Boiler Bilge's Ripper. When he enters, can sacrifice a creature or enchantment. When he does, deal 2 damage to any target. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 and trample. The Grand Entryway and the Elegant Rotunda. Create a Glimmer. When you unlock this door, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 creatures. Winter's Intervention. Deal 2 damage to target creature, you gain 2 life. Flesh Burrower, oh that's terrifying. Symptoms of a burrower bite include fevers, chills, gangrene, subcutaneous writhing, and a growing urge to eat the flesh of the living. And if you're lucky, death. When he attacks, another target creature you control gains death touch. Sweet. Smoky Lounge and the Misty Salon. Beginning of your first main phase, add 2. Spend this only to cast or unlock rooms and doors. Yeah, so that's entirely a door deck card. And when you unlock this door, create an XX spirit, where X is the number of unlocked doors among rooms you control. Yeah, so this one is entirely useful only if you're running a door deck or a room deck. The Hand That Feeds. I don't want to bite it either, though, so. The darkness, Lena reached for Shay's hand and squeezed it for comfort. Then she heard Shay call to her from the next room. Oh no. Whenever it attacks while delirium is in effect, it gets +2 and menace. Nice. Miasma Demon. Hush, little ants. I can rid you of the troubles with a breath. All I ask in return is a drop of blood and a problem. Oh, I can't read. And a promise. When Miasma Demon enters, you may discard any number of cards. When you do, up to that many target creatures each get -2 until end of turn. So if you summon him with a handful, you can heavily decimate your enemy's army. And another victor. Lovely. Cold Healer, Frantic Strength, Cynical Loner. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm done with hope. It cannot be blocked by glimmers. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Loner is tapped, you may search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. So that's incredibly useful if you're running a resurrection deck. The Glimmer Light, when it enters, create a glimmer. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Turn inside out. Oh my gosh. Scared, are you? You need a hug? Target creature gets +3/+0. When it dies this turn, manifest dread. Flood Pit's Drowner. When he enters, tap target creature, put a stun counter And for 2 mana, you can shuffle this and target creature into their library, into their owner's libraries. So you can have them show up and then just poof away to eradicate an enemy. And then you just have to hope it doesn't come back soon. Kona, rescue beastie. She's got a heart of gold, a nose for danger, and jaws that can pulverize a cellar spawn with a single snap. Nice. Beginning a second main phase, if it's if it's tapped, you may put a permanent card from hand to battlefield. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Fanatic of the Harrowing. Each player discards. If you discard, draw a card. Possessed Goat. Discard a card. Put 3 counters on the goat, and it becomes a black demon in addition to its other colors and types. Activate only once. When their would-be sacrifice wandered back to their encampment, survivors breathed a sigh of relief, assuming the demon had departed. He didn't depart, he just came to visit. Scorching dragon fire. Kaito ran, illusion or no, the fire felt hot enough to kill. 3 damage target creature planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die, exile it instead. No resurrections this time. With nowhere to run, enters. Target creature gets -3, -3. Creatures your opponents control can be the target of spells as if they didn't have hexproof. And ward abilities don't trigger. So this is the epitome of a hexproof dex counter. That is beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. So there's nothing worse than getting a deck that goes, hey, you have hexproof, and then activating a combo that hurts you, but because you have hexproof, you don't get hurt at all. I whip out nowhere to run, and now it doesn't matter if you have hexproof, I can still hurt you. And you can still hurt yourself. Trapped in the screen. Maggie always wanted to be on the television. Exile artifact, creature, or enchantment until this leaves the battlefield. The Jolly Balloon Man. Oh my. Don't mind me, I'm just filling these heads. Create a token that's a copy of another creature, except it's 1/1 red balloon in addition to its other colors and types, and has flying and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Which means if you have a good card that's like, hey, when this dies, do such and such, you just make a cheap token of him, and then the token's gonna die, guaranteed. So you start activating your ability and without having to risk your good monster. Undead Sprinter. Trample and haste. You may cast Undead Sprinter from your graveyard if a non-zombie died. If you do, it enters with a 1/1 counter. Nice. Human Soldier. Another target creature you control gains indestructible. Spine Seeker Centipede. When he enters, search your library for basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle. When Delirium is around, this thing gets +1 damage, +2 defense, and has vigilance. Twist Reality, counter target spell, Manifest Dread, An untimely malfunction. Oh no. Destroy target artifact. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. So if you're attacking my great monster with a spell that's going to kill it, I can say, no, you targeted this guy. Or one or two target creatures cannot block. That is a nice card. Found footage. You may look at face-down creatures your opponents control. Nice. Trial of Agony. Oh yeah, this definitely... All it took to shatter their lifelong bond was a scrap of hope. I'm gonna obliterate my best friend just so that I can survive. Choose two creatures controlled by the same opponent. That player chooses one of them. Trial of Agony deals 5 damage to that creature, and the other cannot block this turn. So you get to choose which one dies and which one lives. Looks like something just straight out of Saw. I mean, obviously it has a giant saw, but it looks like something straight out of Saw. Oh, jump scare! Boo! Until the end of turn, target creature gets +2/+2, gains flying, and becomes a horror enchantment creature in addition to its other types. Cool. Give in to violence. Come, strip yourself of flesh and fear. Hunt for me. Entertain me. The Lord of Pain. Gains +2/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Pyroclasm. Deals 2 damage to each and every creature. Mine, yours, the weird guy across the street. In my younger days, I would meticulously catalog all the terrors I encountered. These days, I mostly just kill them with fire. Sounds like a good plan. The Derelict Attic and the Widow's Walk. When you unlock this door, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. When a creature attacks alone, it gets +1 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. And then another Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. Alright, 5 more, and then I can finally get into a duel. When you unlock this door, surveil 2. When you unlock this door, manifest dread, then put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Fear of Isolation. So do they just have a creature for all the main phobias? That'd be cool. On the second day after he'd been separated from his friends, Tina worried they'd be panicking at his absence. By the 4th, he was certain they'd never cared for him at all. Oh, that's sad. It's an additional cost to cast this spell. Return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. Glimmerburst. Draw 2 cards, create a glimmer. At first, Sasha felt silly fending off the cellar spawn hordes with the essence of her childhood pet hamster. But it sure beat dying alone in the dark. Get him, Boo! He's my giant space hamster. Meat Hook Massacre 2. It came out with a sequel to Meat Hook Massacre. Lovely. I can't stand fighting Meat Hook Massacre. And now they got a sequel. When it enters, each player sacrifices X creatures. Whenever a creature you control dies, you may pay 3 life. If you do, return that card with a finality counter. Whenever a creature they control, they may pay 3 life. If they don't, return that card to my control with a finality counter. So we both lose the creatures, I pay life if I want my creatures back, but they have to pay life if they don't want their creatures attacking them. That is epic and terrifying. I do not look forward to meeting that card. Ha, meeting. When it enters or dies, surveil 1. Possible Inferno, deal 6 damage to target creature. If there's Delirium in effect, exile top card of your library. You may play until end of turn. Gremlin Tamer. Do they cause trouble? Sure. But if you're nice to them, the trouble happens to other folks. Gizmo! Whenever an enchantment enters a room or you fully unlock a room, create a gremlin. Unwilling Vessel. Whenever enchantments or rooms, put a possession counter. When Unwilling Vessel dies, create a spirit with flying that has attack and defense equal to the number of possession counters. The Waltz of Rage. The melody was all in her head, but she'd always preferred to dance alone. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. Till end of turn, whenever a creature you control dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next turn. So you get a powerful monster. You just play this, and you can most likely wipe out every creature on the field. And then be able to exile and play some of your cards off your library. Horrid Vigor. We set it on fire, it lived. We cut off its head, it lived. We fell to it one by one, it lives. Sunrise, Survivor Sentry. Target creature gains Death Touch and Indestructible until end of turn. Norin, Swift Survivalist. I don't know what it was. Why would I stick around to find out? It cannot block. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may exile it, and then you may play that card from exile this turn. Interesting. And then another FOMO. Alright, 2 gold packs, and then we finally get into some dueling. Chainsaw, Laughing Jasper Flint, Portent of Calamity. Reveal top X cards from your library. For each card type, you may exile a card of that type from among them. You may cast a spell from among the exiled cards without paying for its mana cost if you exiled 4 or more cards this way. Then put the rest of the exiled cards in your hand. I'm good. Enduring Curiosity, a new glimmer. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, draw a card. When this creature dies, if it was a creature, return it as an enchantment. Lovely. Song of Totentans, the Rat Piper. He's the Pied Piper of magic. Townsfolk tapped their feet and hummed along, unwittingly amplifying the tune that would summon their doom. Create X 1/1 Black Rat creature tokens. And then creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Oh, that is glorious for a rat deck. Then Talion, the Kindly Lord. Alrighty. Last deck pack. Silent Hall Creeper. It cannot be blocked. When it deals combat damage, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Put 2/1/1 counters on this card, draw a card, and it becomes a copy of another target creature you control. That is wonderful. Elemental Raccoon, mill 7 cards, put a creature, enchantment, or land from among them onto the battlefield. Discard a card, return. Okay, I'm good. Slick Shot, show off whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Nah. Rip, Spawn Hunter, Amalia, Benavides Aguirre. Whenever you gain life, explore this. Then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20. And the Enigma Jewel enters tapped. Tap it at 2 only to activate abilities. And if you can craft with it, has each activated ability of the exiled card used to craft it. You may activate each of those once per turn. Whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. Alrighty. Now that that's over with, white and red, kill creatures, and we're going to re-roll this one to, well, we didn't get a 750. Alright, attack with 30 creatures, kill 25 creatures, and cast white or red. Alright, so we're going to go with white or red. So, we have some options. We can go hasty advance, try and quickly knock out the attack quest along with playing red. Goblin Remix, Devils, Heaven and Hell, so angels and devils. It's not as refined as some of my others. An angel deck. Gnomes is more colorless than white. Red dragons. That seems all too fitting for my stream. Run the dragons. Howdy. Oh, good, and we got a fearsome whelp right off the draw. Cheeky house mouse. Cha-ching! The wrathful red dragon grows cheaper! Burrow Mentor equal to the number of creatures you control. Okay, so we definitely want that dead sooner than later. So we're going to go on Summon the Fearsome Whelp. And then we're going to reveal a dragon card. Destroy the Mentor. And then attack. Because now the Wrathful Red Dragon is cheap enough I can cast it next turn. Carrot Cake. Create a rabbit, scry 1. And then it's a food token. Laughless? Oh, my queen. We're gonna go on to summon the Wrathful Red Dragon this turn, though. Okay, dokie. Hop to it. Created 3 rabbits. Now what are you doing? What did that do? Reveal top 6 cards of your library. Reveal up to 2. What did you just reveal? Phineas, Ace Archer. Attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control that's a token or a rabbit. Then if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater, and rabbits, bats, birds you control enter scry 1 and they get +1/+1. Oh. Yippee. But, you see, we're gonna go on a summon Lathliss. When a dragon you control's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any creature that isn't a dragon. I think we'll attack with 1. We're gonna leave the rest. Excuse me. Because here's the thing. You can attack now. But if you attack, you're gonna hurt. What do we got? Bunnycorn. Oh, well that's cool. Let's go on and summon this.
These dragons are hungry.
I'll do this.
There's no better ally than a dragon.
And then we're gonna end our turn. So now the Shivan Dragon can be summoned next turn, as is. Well, that's pretty. He's probably gonna kill Sarkhan this turn. I would. And it what? Can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Oh, it just so happens that I have creatures that aren't power 3 or greater. Yeah. What are you gonna do, bud? You gonna attack? Oh, you are. And you're gonna fully attack me. Interesting choice. Yeah, there you go. Attack the shit. Wandered shit. No. Okay. Let's do it. Oh. Oh. Okay. So, we're gonna do you block you, you block you. Wrathful Red Dragon is gonna block the Quest Caller. And actually, 3, 6, 9, 12, he wins. That's sad. I was getting rolling too. But that's the problem you face when running Dragon. It's all good. So, yeah, let's run them again. Oh. invasion of Tarkir. I think we're gonna hinge on getting that out. Reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand to any target. Okay. I'm gonna reveal all 3 of my dragons because I'm not scared. So that I can deal 5 damage. We're gonna summon the Herald's Horn for dragon. No, he killed the Herald's Horn. Oh well. Do we really want to? Shivendrat, this Devastator. You know what? Go on and summon the Devastator. Oh, do you have a thing to kill flying? Okay. Attack the invasion. I want that dragon out there. Oh, you killed another dragon. 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we play the time and hinge on this guy not being more of a back-end fighter than a front-faced fighter. That's what I expected to see. So can summon Varix, but he's likely gonna kill him. Can hang on and possibly wipe some more. We're gonna go for that. Fearsome Whelp. Oh, and he's got his stuff tapped, which means I'll get at least 1 pop off on it. Go on and attack the invasion again. Alright, now I can play all of these creatures. Hey. So even if he kills the Fearsome Whelp, I got what I was looking for. Yep, Lightning Strike. Alright, we got what we were here for. And so up first we will summon the Hellkite. Because it has haste. And he has broken wings! Oh, I should have known. Playing green and red, I should have expected that. Oh, and he's got all of his mana, which means if I summon something too good, he's just gonna one-shot it. Let's see, I play 3. summon this. See what he does. Do anything? He doesn't do anything. I could destroy the dragon's invasion. But I think I'm gonna wait one more turn. I want it to go here. So now I can summon it and hopefully... Yes! Popped off that ability of his. And now I can definitely summon these high tier dragons for cheap. Smash the dust, killed the fearsome whelp, but the whelp has done his job. And so when it to each opponent for to any target, or I play the kicker. And so now I've got 2 4/4 dragons. And then we summon the Tyrant of Carriages. Courageous? I don't know. War dragons don't see sides, they just see side dishes. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell... Oh, you're duplicating Broken Wings? Man, how does this guy have the counter to my dragon deck? Of all opponents out there, I get the one guy that is like expertly prepared to face dragons. Alright, what you gonna do, pal? Anything? Nothing. Sweet. Bargain. Sacrifice an artifact, an enchantment, or a token. Well, I don't have any of those. But that's okay. So, we're gonna first summon the Hellkite at full price. And then we're gonna summon the Red Dragon. And now we're gonna attack with all 3. Oh, actually. We're gonna hang on to this. Wait. So 4 plus 2, so that's... yeah. I can't win immediately this turn, so... But I will do this, so that he can... If he's gonna kill my dragon, he's gonna lose his only flight defender. Oh, instead he's gonna power it up. Which means he can still kill it, which is okay. It's okay. We are good, because now that you're attacking, I'm gonna just block with the Dragon Speaker Shaman. Because once you attacked, you lost any chance of you to win. And now, I'm more than halfway through my white and red. I still need to attack with 20 creatures. And I need to kill a lot more. So... now that we've built the dragons, let's do instant burning. Because with instant burning, I can should be able to destroy more creatures. And in fact, I might even, for the sake of getting the quest complete, I might play a more risky approach and forego victory and go for give me the kills. But we got the arcane bombardment right off the bat, which is great. We're gonna hang on to the mana because let's play with fire. Creature you control leaves the battlefield. If it had counters, put them on those lists. Okay, cool. It's a neat little card. Chandra, Hope's Beacon. Knight of Ebon Legion. Alright, now we kill it. Because I do not want the Knight of Ebon Legion getting powerful. That is one thing I definitely do not want. We'll go on and do that. That way I have a creature on my field. Oh, the Crystalline Giant. Nice. How about no? Oh, those count as counters that it can take as well. That's lovely. Means any creature he pulls out can get first strike. Protection from multicolored? Well, we are gonna kill it. And unfortunately, what I really need is 2 more mana. If I can get the 2 more mana, I can summon Arcane Bombardment. Another Stone Coil Serpent. Nice. Might as well. Alright, well there's one. Alright, one more. One more and I can do... If I can survive that long. Alright, come on. Mana. I need mana. Give me mana. That is not mana. I do believe I am not winning this. Ah, mana! Okay. Well, there's a tiny chance. But I have to cast an instant or so. Oh, no. Yep, I lose. Woe is me. Excuse me. Well, I lose. It doesn't matter. So, let's do this so I can at least kill some,
No more watching. It's time to do something.
Oh, this way I can at least kill 2 creatures. Kill this, kill this.
You're toast.
Good game. Oh. Issa going. Won the last couple, so only fitting that get a taste of defeat. Alright, I need 6 more white or red, and then just attack and kill. So, let's go to Hasty Advance, because Hasty Advance means I can quickly get attackers out on the field. And most of them are cheap, which means I should be able to get all my red spells done this turn. Unless this dude just pulls out a insane deck and like beats me in like turn 5. Alright. Up first we have the Raging Goblin. Next up we'll summon the Lizard Blades. As long as it doesn't die, it means the Raging Goblin will get double strike. Oh. On second thought, we're gonna play with fire, so that way his creatures entering the battlefield don't give him life. And then I'll summon the second Raging Goblin. Because if he's got life gain deck, haste is good at doing quick attack. If he gets a life gain rolling before I'm ready to take it out, then he's just gonna gain more life than I can chip away, and then I'm just gonna lose out of pure numbers. Let's see what you got. Red and white. An Angel of Unity. Okay. So, here's what we'll do. I want them to think they got the upper hand. So, we're just gonna straight up attack and hope they block. Which they did. So now Angel of Unity is dead. So I've got the land cards over here. So this is my mana. So there's 5 different colors: red, white, green, black, and blue. Each color has their strengths and their weaknesses. So like red is primarily lots of damage, and more damage. White is often lots of life gain. Black often is like sacrifice to win. With great suffering comes great success, kind of a mentality. Blue is a lot of like control. And then green is for like your powerhouses. But so you can combine colors. You can just play single color decks. Like this is purely a red deck. So different cards have different abilities. So like the Raging Goblin has haste, which means, yeah. So green has lots of very strong, expensive creatures, as well as cheaper creatures that give you mana from the creature. So, in other words, I can tap my creature, and instead of attacking or anything like that, I can have, so like where I have 4 mana now, if I had a tap creature, I could tap it and get 5, which would let me summon the Warriors of Tiamat. So it's about getting your cheap guys out quickly so that you can super summon the rest of your big army. So lots of strategies involved, and unfortunately, this being a lot of flyers is not a very good matchup for me, because unless you have a flying creature yourself, you can't block them, which gives them free access to my health. And at the moment they've got 4 damage each turn possibilities, but certain strategies work great against certain strategies. Others, it's like, well, my deck works, but against your deck it's absolute uselessness. Which in this case is exactly what I'm facing. And so like this card, the Voice of the Blessed, every time they gain life, this creature gets stronger. And that paired with this card, the Soul Warden, allows anytime I summon a creature or they summon a creature, they gain life. Which means no matter what I do, every creature I bring powers up their creature. And every creature they bring powers up their creature. But it doesn't matter what I summon at this point, because there's nothing I can do to defend it. So I'll just do an all-out attack and let them fight. And then let him kill me, and then I'll queue up the next match and we'll try it again. Life gain decks are great for longer drawn out games, because you can, if you get the right combo going, you can just constantly gain more and more health, and your opponent will just never be able to damage you more than you're healing. And at that point, most times they'll either just give up because it's like, yeah, I know I can't beat you, or I've had a match go about an hour because we both had a life gain deck, so it was just, I gained some life, you gained some life, I gained some life, you gained some life, and it was just back and back. Yeah, so when they're attacking your life points, it goes straight to the avatar. You can use your creatures to block if they're not tapped. And the way a card gets tapped is if I attack with it. Or kind of like I said for the green, where I can tap it and to give mana. Once it's tapped, it doesn't untap until the start of your next turn. Unless you have a special card that lets you untap it. So let's see. Let's take a look at the decks. Kind of go through some demonstrations. So let's see if I can find some good examples. So one type of deck is known as a tribal deck. So basically every card works with every other card in the deck. And so this is entirely elves. Elves are one of the biggest tribal decks out there because just about every elf card works with another elf card. So, like this card, when it enters, if I already have an elf on the battlefield, I get an extra elf just for summoning it. Card like this, the Leaf Crowned Visionary, when it's on the field, every elf I control gets +1/+1. And so the way the numbers work on these is your first number down in the bottom right corner, that's your attack damage. And the second number is your defense value. So this card right now is just a 1/1 creature. So anything that deals 1 damage can kill this card. But if I have both of these on the battlefield and all 4 of my Elvish Clan Callers, each of these cards give elves +1/+1, which means every single one of these 1/1 creatures immediately becomes a 6/6 monster. Pairing that with cards like this one, Lysolana Huntsmaster, anytime I cast an elf spell, I can create an elf. So you can constantly generate more and more elves that are now being superpowered. And so about turn 10, if you get rolling, you can have about 15 elves on the battlefield that are all very powerful. And so this deck is entirely geared around summon as many elves as possible and let's power them up as best as we can. But then you've got other kinds of decks. So I've got, let's see here. So this one, Persistent Milling. Most cards you can only have 4 of them in a deck. But there's a handful of cards out there, like this one, that have written on their information that you can have as many of them in your deck as you want. And so what this particular card does, so it's a Human Advisor is its type. When I tap it for 1 mana, I can have an enemy mill a card. And so milling a card, so that deck is very dependent on elf. So like the last deck I ran was instead of being based on a type of creature, it was based on the ability Haste. So just about every creature in that last deck I played has the ability Haste, so I can summon every single creature and immediately attack it instead of having to wait a turn. But then this deck is what's known as a mill deck, and so a mill deck is basically you're discarding from your deck into the graveyard, and because once you run out of cards in your deck, you immediately lose. No matter who has more health, if you run out of cards first, you lose. So this deck is entirely geared towards Let me make you get rid of all of your